On this edition of the Tweet Show podcast, we're going to talk about what went down in the NBA Finals, and we're going to talk just stuff about between the two teams that played in the finals. We'll talk some live golf, hockey, the latest on the Sean Watson, and the NBA draft. So, with that being said, let's get started with today's episode. So I'm very aware I haven't done a show in a hot minute, and that's my apologies. Now, granted, like 2 weeks ago, I was having to babysit a dog, my roommate's dog, and I wanted to do a podcast probably during that week and talk about NBA Finals stuff. But I really couldn't do that because that dog could never shut up. If that dog never shut up, because I was never hardly in the room, it just likes it being in the same room as you sometimes. I was like, I can't do a podcast if you're going to be in the same room as me and also bug me. So it was kind of a hassle with that dog. But anyways, that happened. And then I went on a trip that following weekend to Kansas City. I'll talk about that later. And then like this past week, I'm currently back home with my folks. So I've really haven't podcast because it's like, sometimes I like to do things when I'm alone, don't have any distractions or any noises around me. So, yeah. Anyways, my apologies for not letting you guys know why I didn't have any more episodes out and why. Just any explanations on why I haven't done an episode in a hot minute. So, my apologies. I will try and do better about that. And I have been making videos on the YouTube channel to at least give you guys something to do or watch. Something give you content wise, and TikToks too. So make sure you follow those. So anyway, let's get back on track here. That was a little bit cleanup of what's been going on recently. So it is currently Monday, or no, it's not Monday. It's Tuesday actually. Tuesday, June 21st, and the Golden State Warriors are the NBA champions. So obviously, it's been a week now since they've been champions. Yesterday they had their parade. No, wait. But yesterday, no, wait. They won Game 6 Thursday. So it's only been truly 4 days since they've won. Or no, 5 days. Either way, it's been roughly 5 days since they've won. So I'm going to do some cleanup here and talk about how the Warriors can. We're going to do some topics about that, about the Warriors in Boston. So the first topic we're going to do is, can the Golden State Warriors repeat? My answer to that is yes, absolutely. They have obviously Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green. Those are your three key players right there. And then you have obviously the young players. Then you also have Andrew Wiggins. So if the young players keep developing and having great success and all that, with Kuminga and Wiseman and Jordan Poole continue to elevate their game to a high level, I don't see why they can't keep this run going. Then you also include Andrew Wiggins. And if, like I said, you still have Steph, Klay, and Draymond, and also the addition of Andrew Wiggins. So I just don't see why the Golden State Warriors can't continue on with this little dynasty run here. They obviously have won 4 of the last 8, so it's sort of a mini dynasty. It's not a dynasty yet, I guess. To say it's not officially a dynasty, it's a mini dynasty, I would say, because like the 3 out of 4, I would probably that consider be a mini dynasty too. Like if they win the next, like say if they win like 2 more straight and they go on a 3-peat, then that would be that would be a dynasty, I guess, in some shape or form, because it would be 6 out of 10, 6 out of the last 10, I think, right? Something like that. But I don't see. I don't. Stephen A. Smith was talking about this on his on ESPN on his first take. He was like, Golden State could easily win the next 2 out of 3, and I tend to agree with him. I think if Steph Curry continues to play at a high level, and like I said, if those three continue, Draymond, Steph, and Clay continue to play at a high level, I just don't see who else could beat him. Obviously, the league's going to get better. Moves could happen. Players could move to different teams and all that stuff. So we'll see how this offseason is going to go, what changes are going to be made in the NBA. But as we stand today, I truly believe that Golden State could easily win another one here in the next 2 years, easily. But yeah, that's my thoughts on if Golden State can easily repeat, and then it's yes. And then the next question is Steph Curry a top 10 player? That was immediately the first question on First Take and all the talks, sports talk radio stuff. It's just sports talk shows where like, is Steph Curry a top 10 player? And I did write down my top 10. Now, as I'm saying my top 10, this is in no particular order. These are just my 10 players. These are just the 10 players I think should be in the top 10. All right, so I have, again, in no particular order, MJ, Kareem, Magic, Bird, Kobe, LeBron, Bill Russell, Tim Duncan, Shaq, and Curry. And so, yes, to answer the question, yes, I have Steph Curry in the top 10. But again, things could change. For the time being, I will have Steph Curry in my top 10. The other team, so the other three, now I had three other players in my, so I could make an argument that could be in the top 10 were Elijah One, Oscar Robertson, and Wilt. So those are the three that I considered putting in the top 10, but I just, I had some. I easily wrote down like 5 easy names, and once I got to like 6 or 10, I was like, oh, okay, here we go. This could be a little bit tougher, and that's when I came up with those were my top. Those were my top 10. Again, in no particular order. But yes, Jordan's the greatest player of all time. But yeah, that was my top 10 there. Oh, it's real hard to say because because Steph Curry's still playing and he can easily continue his success and continue making a case on why he deserves to be in the top 10 for sure. Once his career is said and done, if he has like another championship, then yeah, I think he's easily top 10. But again, he's at 4, so he's right. I think if you had to put him in the top 10, at least in the rankings, you could put him 9 through about 12 in that slot. I think he's 9 through 12, roughly in that slot. You know what I'm saying? So he's either the highest he could be at 9, and the lowest he should ever be is at 12. That's just my thoughts. I think easily he should be either a number 9 or a number 12. That's just my thoughts and opinion. If you would like to make a comment about that, go right ahead. I have no problems telling you you're wrong or I'm wrong either. So that's my thoughts on Steph Curry being top 10. The Boston Celtics on what they need to do this offseason. Now, what they mainly need to do is I think priority number 1 is to go find a point guard. Now, I think Marcus Smart did a fine job of being the point guard, but Stephen A was talking about this a lot too. Like they needed a general. They needed a guy who can get everybody in place and calm down when things are getting a little tough. They're like, okay, I need you. I'd be like, Tatum, I was a point guard, be like, all right, Tatum, go to that corner, stand over there. I'm going to move the ball over here, and you just keep standing there until I tell you to move, or just something like that. Just a Chris Paul or a Titus Jones or Monte Morris is somebody who can get you the assists and also could give you some baskets too. Who else could be like a sort of? It'd be good for them. I'm trying to think. Titus would be a good one. I heard Titus would be a good option. I think Monte Morris would be a good one. I think they'd have to trade for Monte though. They could also go after trying to think of other point guards in the NBA. They're like not like high ends, but like just solid starters. Trying to think here. I guess there's not that many. I'm sure there is, but I just can't think of on top of my head on who all these point guards are. You know what I'm saying? But they just needed someone. They also need some like playmaking. They need more playmakers. So that way, if Tatum or Jalen are having not their best days, they can at least have a sort of a third option. Because I don't know who their third option really is. Is it? Would you consider Marcus Smart being the third option? Because I feel like if Marcus Smart's your third option, that's not really a really good third option to have. And Al Horford's not really a third option, I don't think, at his age. It'll be interesting to see on what kind of player they're looking for in the playmaking aspect. So it'll be interesting what Boston does this offseason, how they keep improving the roster because they don't have to make a whole lot of changes. They just, like I said, I guess they need another playmaker and a point guard. That's all they really need if they want to continue competing in the East and trying to get back to the finals. So that was sort of the cleanup there on the NBA of all that. So we can talk a little bit about the Live Tour. Recent news today is that Brooks Koepka is going to join the tour now and leave or I guess not leave. He's just going to join, even though he sort of made a comment during the U.S. Open about the Live Tour and how it's unfair. I don't know. I forgot what the clip was all about, but it was kind of like a cringe one. It's like, mind. It seemed like he was looking at I think I watched the clip this morning. And it's like, well, just by looking at that clip, it looked like he was probably going to join, but he just didn't want to say it just yet. He's like, I just don't. He's talking about, I just don't see why. All right, never mind. I'm not even going to try to attempt on what Brooks said, but I do like Brooks a lot. He's a good guy. I would love to know his reasoning on why he joined. I have no problem with golfers wanting to get that money. Obviously, there are other reasons why people may not like it because of the Saudis and the government and just their culture, maybe. I don't know. I don't know too much about the Saudis. I know they're not the best about human rights stuff and all that other stuff. And obviously, they have lots of money and they can throw money on whoever they want for this golf stuff. So, I don't know what word I'm going to look for here. It's obviously not going to be too much of a competitor with the PGA because I still think they're not going to get Tiger to ever join that tour. They're just going to get more of some of the, I would say, probably the young guys a bit more than some of the olders. Obviously, they have Phil, but I think a lot of the guys they have now are a bit more younger. So it'd be interesting to see on what the future in golf in the next year looks like. So that's my thoughts on the Lib Tour. Let's go to the hockey now. So after game 3 now, this is after game 3, the Avalanche lead the series 2-1. Last night, the Lightning won, I believe, 6-2, if my memory serves me correct, because I watched this. I didn't watch game 3, but I saw it was a crazy blowout because game 2 was 7-0, and game 3 it was another blowout. Obviously, game 3 was in Tampa. The first 2 games were on Avs or at the Avs, so obviously that makes sense for the Avs to win the first 2. Now we'll have to see if game 4, if the Lightning strike back again and tie the series up 2-2, then they'll have to go back to the Avalanche and have to win a game. Because if the series is tied up at 2-2, I think the Lightning could steal a game. If the series is tied at 2-2, game 5 is going to be a real deciding factor. And it usually is for every sport. Typically, if it's a playoff series, usually game 5, if it's tied at 2-2, is the most critical game in the series. Typically, because winner of that typically in most sports typically wins the series. So if the series is tied up at 2 apiece and whoever wins, and again it's going to be in Colorado, so you would think that Colorado would probably win game 5 and then have to win the Stanley Cup and Tampa. So it might I did place a bet that the Avs would win the Stanley Cup, and then I also put a little sprinkle on the exact on how the Tampa on Colorado would win the Stanley Cup, and they would win in 6 games. So far that could happen. I just need them to either lose game 4. I haven't really decided on what scenario I want, so I'm wanting the Avs to be tied at 2 and then win game 5 and then also win in game 6. So that way they win game 6 and just be done. It would have been nice if they at least split the series at 1 apiece. I'm like, okay, there we go. But now it's 2-1. So we'll see on how game 4 and what kind of adjustments the Avs make, if they're going to go up 3-1 instead, and something to do with their goalie situation. It's kind of a messy thing with the goalie situation. I was kind of like listening in on the post stuff. So we'll see on how that works. Moving on here to the latest on the Deshaun Watson as of today. 20 of the 24 women or silver cases have been settled. So there's only 4 cases left for Deshaun Watson to either to settle or to clear his name, or I guess whatever legal term you want to use. Either way, they've been 20 of the 24 have been settled. So that's a positive, I guess, for Deshaun. So that's good to know. I'm not the best legal person about this. I'm just here to give you the news that Deshaun's only got to worry about, or not worry about. Maybe I don't know what words to use here because I'm not the best legal person about Deshaun Watson. Guess again, if I'm just Deshaun Watson, though, I guess I'm going to play the Deshaun Watson role for a second, and I'm like, okay, well, there you go. Well, that's nice. We have 20 of the 24 left. All we have to do is sort of just work with these next 4 and see what kind of things are going to happen next for Deshaun. So we'll see on what the next steps is for the NFL, when the NFL is going to finally just suspend him. I mean, they almost has to at some point. They almost have to suspend him at least 8 to 10 games, I would think, to make the public feel somewhat satisfied. I don't know if he deserves to be out for a year or not. I don't know. Again, I think he does, but he doesn't. So, because obviously that whole trial, I was talking about this with my cousin's boyfriend about Deshaun Watson, and he was like, "Yeah, it's kind of a weird situation because with Trevor Bauer, he got suspended 2 years for just one person, and I haven't really read too much up on Trevor Bauer, but it seemed like that." So actually, never mind. I'm not going to talk about Trevor Bauer because I generally forgot what his current case is like, because we haven't really talked about it. Because once he got that 2-game once they got that 2-year ban, it was like, who cares anymore? So it'll be interesting to see on how, like I said, we'll see how the rest of the 4 remaining cases of civil rights lawsuits go. Or not civil rights, but civil lawsuits go. We'll see how those end up in all that fashion. So let's move on here to the second to last thing on the thing. Oh, this is just breaking news coming into onto my phone. Rob Gronkowski is retiring again. So he is retiring now. Is Tom Brady going to call him here in the next hour and tell him, "What are you doing, bro? Why are you retiring? If I'm not retired, you're not retiring." He's like, "Yeah, all right, Tom, I'll come play." So we'll see where he's going to end. If he's going to go back to his Fox gig, where he was kind of on Fox for a little while when he was retired, and then obviously unretired. So this is the second time he's retired. And obviously, I don't really want to go too in deep with Gronk because this is going to be. I was only going to try and record for about 30 minutes. If I did that, it would be an extra 10 minutes and an extra 5 minutes of just ending the show. So we're not going to do that. So obviously, Gronk's a great football player, one of the best to ever do it in the tight end positions and all that other stuff. So it'll be interesting to see in the next 40 days if he truly does retire, or if Tom's going to call him up, be like, "Hey, Gronk, you ever have you officially like put in your paperwork yet? Or are you still like fencing? Are you on the fence? Are you really for sure retired?" Gronk's gonna be like, Tom, I'm pretty sure. Gronk here. Yeah, I'm retired, Tom. I don't want to play. I'm good. Bye, Tom. No, wait, Tom. No. Oh, there you go. Well, that was really dumb what I just did there. I just got that on video. So, yes, I'm a dumb person sometimes, and I love to make a fool of myself. So, anyway, okay. So, enough with Gronk. I was just, prior to Gronk interrupting me, I was going to talk about the NBA draft, and that is coming up here on Thursday. And I was going to pull up the. If you're wondering why it got interrupted, it's because it got cut a bit short. Because in the process of me recording, someone came home and I stopped recording. So I decided to do a second part later tonight. So it is currently later. And as you notice, I am currently in my new bedroom in my household. My younger brother has officially taken over my bedroom. That's neither here nor there about bedrooms. I wish I could have my old room because it would be a lot cooler instead of this terrible color in this room. Anyways, I'm going to get sidetracked. So, right before you were interrupted, we were doing the top 10 mock draft, and I was going to go down the lottery picks and see who was going to go where. So, let me get that pulled up here. So, the number one pick was going to be the Orlando Magic, and they were mocked to pick Javari Smith out of Auburn. Number two is Oklahoma City. They were going to pick Chet Holmgren. Number three is Houston. They were going to pick Paulo Banchero. Number four it was Sacramento, and they're planning on picking Jaden Ivory. Number five is the Pistons, and they plan on taking a Arizona guard named Benedict. I'm not even try and pronounce his last name, but Benedict from Arizona is going to be picked at number six. The Pacers might be gonna pick Keegan Murray out of Iowa. Number seven, the Portland Trailblazers might select Shannon Sharp from Kentucky. If I am saying his name wrong, I apologize. Number eight, the Pelicans via the Lakers pick might pick a G League player named Dayson Daniels. Number nine, the Spurs might pick a center from Memphis named Jalen Dunn. I think that's him. Again, I apologize for pronouncing your name wrong. Number 10, the Wizards will pick Johnny Davis out of Wisconsin. Number 11, the New York Knicks will select AJ Griffin out of Duke. Number 12, Oklahoma City Thunder via the Clippers pick are going to pick somebody from the New Zealand Breakers. I'm also not going to attempt to say his name, but he's a small forward. He's 19 years old. So, 13, Charlotte will select Jeremy. Oh, it's yeah, I know who that is from Baylor. Okay, and then number 14, the Cavaliers will select Ojai Abaji from Kansas, and that will be a wrap. That I'll just do 15. And then 15 will be the Hornets again via the Pelicans pick. And they'll select Mark Williams. So, yeah, that was your lottery pick situations there for the NBA draft. And then I wanted to do again the top 10 because I wanted to do some more discussions about it. So, I'll Just so let's talk about that real quick. All right, so let's talk about this again. So, like I said, I had Steph Curry in my top 10 as of we speak. Obviously, things could change and people could come in and come out. But as we stand, let me give you a refreshment of Steph Curry's in the top 10. So, we have, again, in no particular order, Michael Jordan, Kareem, Magic, Bird, Kobe, LeBron, Bill Russell, Tim Duncan, Shaq, and Curry. Those are my top 10. Then, obviously, you had three players looking outside in. Actually, I could probably put four now because now I'm giving it some thought. Elijah Wan, Oscar, and Wilt. And I also thought about putting Dr. J on the list in the top 10, but I don't think he's top 10 worthy, but he's definitely top 15. Regardless, I just thought, okay, so for people who may say that Steph Curry doesn't deserve to be in the top 10 just yet, if you look at his resume, he's a four-time champ. I think he's a two-time scoring, at least 2 to 3 time scoring champion. He won his finals MVP, which I never really thought he needed it to be in the top 10. So, but now he's got one. So he's got that. And then he's got, all time 3 points record. I feel like he's the greatest shooter of all time. So I feel like if you're the greatest in something, you got to be in the top 10, don't you think? Then he's also like, um, I mean, any any 3 point statistic category, you know, he's gonna be the greatest. And like, I don't know, like it kind of seems silly now to think that he shouldn't be, but if you don't want him, that's fine, that's your opinion. But in my opinion, I think he's easily top 10. But if you didn't, like I said in the previous clip, if you if you don't have him, he shouldn't be lower than 12. Absolutely not, he should not be lower than 12. That's ridiculous if you have him lower than 12. But anyways, but yeah, if you look at his resume, it's like crazy. Let me just kind of pull it up here real quick. All right, Steph Curry. I'm gonna pull up his accolades here. Like I said, he's a four-time champ. He's also got a beautiful wife, and let's see, who can cook. She can cook, guys. She can cook. All right, so here is his accolades. He's also a two-time back-to-back MVP, also unanimous. He's a eight-time All-Star, NBA All-Star MVP, four-time NBA First Team, three-time All NBA Second Team, All NBA Third Team in 2018. He's a two-time three-point contest champion. He's a two-time scoring champion in 2016 and 2021. He was NBA's Sears steals leader in 2016. He's part of the 50-40-90 club, where you shoot 50% from the field, 40% from the three, and 90% from the three-point line. He's part of the NBA's All Rookie First Team. He's part of NBA's All 75 Anniversary Team. And then he was in college. He was a consensus. He was a first team All American in 2009, and then he was a second team All American in 2008. He was the NCAA scoring season leader. He was like the scoring leader in 2009. He's got gold medals in USA basketball. So I mean, man's worthy. One, he's a Hall of Famer, and two, he should easily be top 10. So I mean, if he's in the NBA's All 75 anniversary team, that means he should be at least in the conversation for it. So, like I said, I don't think it's really a debate. I just wanted to give more context about him deserving to be MVP and do some cleanup on that. But I think that was pretty much it. I think now, if you can hear a little squeakly in the background, I think that might be my dog. So I apologize for that. Like I said, I'm kind of recording this late at night, so I guess that anything can happen. So I think that's gonna be it. Now that I think about it. So yeah, thank you very much for watching this episode and listening to this episode of the Tweet Show podcast. If you enjoyed this, please go ahead. If you're watching on YouTube, then please go like and comment on the video. And if you're listening to them audio version of this, please also subscribe to the Apple Podcast, the Spotify, or wherever you're listening to. Just go subscribe and rate it 5 stars, 4 stars, whatever you want to rate it. Rate the episode, rate the show, make a comment about it. Just do something nice for me, and then let's tell some friends about it. Let's keep this thing going. And then also, if anybody out there that might be interested in being a sort of a part-time um, host in a way, let me know. And you're more welcome to be part-time host with me. I will be the main host, but you can be a co-host with me. So I think I thought about bringing in someone, but if someone out there that listening that wants to do podcasting for a living or something like this and wants to be part of this and make this show cool, then you're more welcome to come on. Just hit me up on Twitter, and then in my DMs we can talk. You can ask me some questions. I can hit you respond back. So I've thought about reaching out to my cousin, see if he'll want to do it for a little bit. Since obviously he's got some free time now since he's graduated from high school. So I would think he'd be a good one to have on just once in a while. Hear a different voice, you know what I mean? So, like I said, subscribe to the YouTube channel because I got a bunch of videos that'll be coming out here pretty soon. Hopefully, I'll have the Warriors video out. Hopefully, I'll have my Kansas City video out. Also, you'll see this video. So, I got like a bunch of videos in plan, and then I'm hoping to get more audio episodes out there for the audio listeners. So, I appreciate his patience and support. So, with that being said, like I said, go subscribe. Thank you very much for listening or watching the Tweet Show podcast. I am Chandler Tweet. I'll see you guys next time.